Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Hero, and this is my Dark Souls 2 beta footage that is now on its 4th episode, I think. This is yep, I'm looking at the number now, this is 4. And I believe you've seen this footage before. This would have been, I believe, at the end of the last video. It's not that I'm trying to, break up the footage so that, I can make this series last as long as possible. It's that sometimes when I do these commentaries, I tend to talk a bit longer than I'm supposed to. Like, I've already cut up the video and everything into like 15-minute chunks or so, but sometimes I just go over by a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes and you end up with a longer video. And to avoid me just, talking over a black screen, because I think that's really boring, you see a little bit of the next video. So at the beginning of the next video, you see a little bit of the last video. So if it's not too much of a hassle, you can watch this and just hear me talk. So this is a bit of an explanation, I guess. And at the moment, I really wish I had a ceiling fan. Like, Christ, I wish I had a ceiling fan. Because it's 35 today here in Australia. And for the week ahead of me, this is the Monday. On Tuesday, it's going to be 41. It's going to be 40 and 39 and then 41 for the Friday. And then on the Saturday, it's going to be 21. This is in, Celsius, obviously. And I think that translates to about pretty much the entire week is going to be over 100 degrees. So naturally, in a room with a whole bunch of recording equipment, it's going to get pretty damn hot. So I don't know if I'm going to be getting too many videos out this week, but it's still going to be more than I've been getting out in a long time. And now we're on to the new footage, I think, and we are facing these 3 terrifying red phantom enemies. I don't even know what to call them. They seem... I want to call them punishers for some reason, because they've all got, like, torture equipment, and I'm trying to make the best use of the Soul Greatsword as I can, and it is a fantastic, fantastic spell. Because you got the... I wish I knew this at the time. I mean, I think I managed to diffuse this situation pretty well. It's like by tumbling off the rock, and look, the AI on the... I'm going to call them punishers, is pretty damn good, because this guy, he just dropped off straight after me to chase me. In the first Dark Souls, they would have been just like trying to find the, the default path, like going down proper ladders and, down the center of every path and everything. So this guy just dropped off to find me. But I've managed to find... I've been using my life gems because they were extremely prevalent in the beta. Like, pretty much every enemy dropped them if you killed them often enough. And they're really good. Like, the Estus Flask has sort of an over time regeneration aspect to it as well. It's not just like an instant block of your health is refilled like in the first Dark Souls. It's more of a, like, you take the drink and it refills really fast, but it still takes time to refill. And if you get hurt while it's refilling, then it doesn't refill all the way and you take damage from the point that it didn't get to refill from. And right here, we're on the bridge, and up until this point, I hadn't really noticed where this was, but that path right down there, that's where we came out of the cave at the beginning of the beta. And it's good to see that in Dark Souls 2, at least in the beta bit, they are continuing their From Software's fantastic level design, like the verticality that you get to the levels, like where you can see, if you are at the bottom, you can look up and see where everything else is, and you can wonder where, that path or that bridge leads. And then when you're up in one of those places, you can look down and go, oh shit, I know where that is. There was like I remember in, I'm sorry, I just probably knocked the mics a little bit. I remember there was a picture in, I think it was on Kotaku actually, where a guy was at the top of the, at the top of the tower in the parish, and he looked down into the forest and he saw like a little green, like, sparkle down in the forest, and that was where he died last in Darkroot Garden. So you could see that his bloodstain actually persisted right into that part of Darkroot Garden, which was amazing. And I think it really adds to that sense that the world is a living thing that you are exploring. And right now, I'm in the Executioner's Chariot boss fight, obviously, just trying to find the... see, here's the lever, and I'm just sort of running past enemies, and I keep trying to time the invincibility frames on that Executioner's Chariot, but either it's got lingering frames where it attacks for like constantly over a wide area, or I'm just not timing my dodges right. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that's true. Now, this is the first time that I realized that the necromancers were actually in here, and the thing with the necromancers is that you kill them, and it's not that the skeletons instantly die because you killed the necromancer, but once the skeletons die again, they don't come back to life because the necromancer's not there to bring them back. So, in order to simplify this boss fight for the second stage where you're just fighting the horse, you have to kill the necromancers, kill the skeletons, and then you've just got the horse on its own. Unfortunately though, I got clipped by the Executioner's Chariot when I had my shield down, and I ended up dying. So here we are, back at the bonfire once more, and at this point I don't think I was feeling... I think I felt that it didn't actually hit me then, but what are you gonna do, really? I mean, there are times in Dark Souls where you think, that did not hit me, that did not hit me, but it hit you. The game says too fucking bad, just try again. So, obviously, we are right on our way back to the Executioner's Chariot boss fight, and just to try it again, see if I can get it down this time, and see, there's the flattening animation with the jumping attack this time. Jumping attack is just the forward R2 like it's always been, and I think, God, that roll is really slow. That was the jump as well, in case you didn't notice, which you can actually do by just running, and then while you're running, clicking the left thumbstick. And it actually wasn't until I looked at the option in the menu where you can make it, the standard hold B and then tap B again to jump thing, or you can just bind it to the L3. I didn't notice that in the original Dark Souls there isn't a binding for L3. L3 does nothing. Clicking the left thumbstick does absolutely fucking nothing. And I wondered if, because people had been hoping for something like a strafe mechanic with the shield. Like, if you raised your shield and then clicked L3, for example, you might be able to just move from side to side instead of, without actually having to lock onto anything. You can just move from side to side instead of actually turning your character to the side and moving and then turning back again. Your character would just step sideways as if you were locked on. And right here on the left of the arena, I've managed to find the necromancer that I must have missed the first time through, because I was wondering, I was like, are there supposed to be enemies in these alcoves or anything, or am I just looking for the lever at the end? And there was actually a necromancer to the left, and now that he is dead, and I love that particle effect for when the larger enemies die and they just dissolve into that red mist. I absolutely love it. Once I kill these skeletons that are chasing after me now, that means that they won't come back to life, as I've elaborated before. And I think I'm just heading back to... I was going back to this end of the arena to see if there was some place over here that I could, walk through, but there's just a bottomless pit at the end that the Executioner somehow manages to roll across. I don't know how he does that. So now I'm waiting for my opportunity to pass and trying to get to the other necromancer that is on the right side in one of the right alcoves. And just across there is an archer. And the archer skeletons, or just archers in general in Dark Souls 2, they've been powered up a bit because the arrows are pretty much instant. They just fly. They're really, really fast, and I think this is sort of balanced a little bit in that the player's arrows are also really, really fast. He's the other necromancer, by the way. This is a bit of a hairy situation because I got a skeleton and a necromancer on me at once. I'm running out of stamina, but thankfully the chariot rode past and knocked down the skeletons. I managed to pick up a necromancer robe, also managed to rate a message, retrieve my souls, and now I've just got these skeletons left. Certainly not a speed run, this boss fight, but it is a... This is still like really scary because you've got 2 enemies on you at once is scary in any Dark Souls situation because, I mean, you can only block for so long, really, and excuse me if you heard that phone go off. You can only block for so long before your guard deteriorates, obviously, and I managed to pop a life gem then, and they are extremely good, those life gems. Regeneration over time, faster than the replenishment miracle in Dark Souls, is fantastic. I really, really like it. So we've moved on into a different alcove and just trying to get these skeletons to die before I find the lever, pull it. The pulling animation was a bit long then for me, but the chariot should be moving back right about now. Yep, and he smashes into the gate. The executioner on top dies. I think, apparently, he just smashes into the bars and dies. He must have been made of glass. And you fight the horse. And there was a bit of debate over whether or not this was a cool boss fight. I think it was pretty cool. You're in tight quarters, the boss has a few good attacks. They're telegraphed really well, or really badly, depending on if you think bosses should not be telegraphed like that. Like, some people want bosses to not telegraph as much as they do, because they think, well, then it's too easy. But given that we only had 3 hours with this beta, like in the second round, and we didn't get the extra 5 hours that the European guys did, and look, so then I didn't know that he had the buck attack, so I went around to the back and thought, well, he'll have to turn around and attack me. He's got that breath attack as well. I thought he'd have to turn around and attack me, but he just attacked me with his back legs as well, which was good, and it got me in a kind of a harrowing position. But I used a life gem, and healing over time is really good. The longsword's doing some decent damage, the soul greatsword was doing some excellent damage as well. I two-handed it, I believe, and I used the strong attack, and it did a bunch of damage. What I was delighted to see with this fight was that it didn't get framey. Like, I don't like bosses that get really framey. Like, Manus at times, because you're in an area that's so loaded with sprites and stuff up above. Or when I barely missed getting hit with that buck attack. If that buck had hit me, then I would have died, and I would have had to come back and do this all again. But it's not getting framey at all. The frame rate's actually fantastic, and I didn't two-hand that time, but I used the heavy attack, and I got a nice sweeping attack across the legs. It doesn't hit more than once, which I think is pretty good, because otherwise the Soul Greatsword would be a little bit overpowered. And ooh, there's that charging attack that you don't often see, because I think you have to be standing sort of like so that there's a bit of room behind you when it does that attack as well. But this boss, not so difficult in the grand scheme of things. I mean, it does telegraph things really well, and it is fairly slow, and it does have to turn to face you a lot, and it does have some tracking attacks, but they don't have like bullshit tracking at all. And that was me, trying to get a good soul arrow off, but then, just my poor judgment on things, I didn't hit it right, and I ended up getting clipped for it. So we're heading right into the last leg of this fight. He's down to low life, I'm down on life gems, which is hard because if I come back, then I can't exactly farm life gems. So he's hit me again, I'm down on low life, he almost hit me again. Whether I managed to roll through that is a mystery, but I get a nice little soul arrow on him from far away, use the hurrah gesture, and it really bugs me that the gesture menu doesn't go away, but get a nice victory achieved, nice cluster of souls flying into your body, and got about 10,000 souls, which will mean that'll be 5 5 levels, depending on what level I was at this point. And I think I took this moment to get a drink or something. And yeah, so there was a human effigy on the floor, radiant life gems, and I believe at some point along the ground there is the Dragon Slayer's halberd, which is the Temple Knight's main weapon. I mean, the Temple Knight has the axe and the halberd and the bell as well, which is his talisman. And I also picked up an Imperial shield, which I believe is the Temple Knight's shield. So there we go. Up here, there is a bonfire just there. I love this animation. And this is the end of the video, so I'm going to finish on time for once. I will see you guys in the next one. We've got some more interesting stuff, new areas. Yeah, I will see you in the next video.